Hello and welcome to the Successful as Fuck podcast. I'm your host, Raya Gonzalez, and I am super excited today because, as always, we just bring on the best guests ever. So I have Jennifer here with me today, and she is going to share with us a little bit about her journey towards the success that she is today. And I'm just so grateful that you're sharing your time with us. Jennifer, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you serve people.
Thank you for inviting me, Raya. Um, I am a single mom of three, and I am an entrepreneur, full-time entrepreneur. And how I serve people is through my business, through partnerships. I employ right now three women who are part of my team who I rely on immensely and actually make me look good and make the business operate smoothly. And I partner with other entrepreneurs, other business owners, and always looking for ways that we all can grow together and leverage our respective network to help respective businesses grow.
Nice, nice. Tell me a little bit, I mean, I'm just curious, but tell me a little bit about how that works when you guys have those partnerships. What types of things do you guys do to help other people?
Depending on the type of partnership, we always look for the different strengths, what we bring to the table, and how we can balance it out with each other, support each other in different projects, endeavors. Sometimes it's just simply talking through different challenges that we're going through as a business owner, and figuring out what is going to work, what the resolutions are going to be. And then also, we always work towards inviting each other to different network events, opportunities to serve. I'm always looking for ways that I can volunteer and leverage my skill sets and uh, resources to be able to give. I've done that forever. It's something that I absolutely enjoy to do.
I love that. That's definitely part of my definition of success. And a core value for me is connection.
Yes.
And so if you looked at my schedule behind my Zoom screen right now, it is just peppered with connection calls. And that's because I truly believe that we can accomplish so much by lifting each other up. And the success of another person is also the success for ourselves, especially if we've been able to lift them up and do something to help them get there, not because we're so great, but because we're going to need that help someday. And it's the flip side to that is being humble enough to receive the help when
Yeah.
we need it. And so I love that. Well, walk me back to your life when you were first starting out, and you maybe weren't a mom of three, you weren't an entrepreneur. What did success look like for you at that point in your life?
Well, funny enough, I think I've always been an entrepreneur, even when I didn't know I was one, even as a child. I was the one that did the Christmas savings program with the neighborhood kids and collected all of the money. Of course, once I collected all the money and the ice cream truck came by, they all wanted their money back.
Mm-hmm.
But I would organize clubs with our neighborhood friends and just participate in all kinds of different activities. But what success looked like to me at that time growing up and being a child of immigrants and first generation, growing up in a inner city that was very, very poor. Success to me looked like what I saw on TV, watching the soap operas and MTV, and the nice cars, and walking down Rodeo Drive in Hollywood, and shopping, and just having these grandeur, huge mansions. That's what I thought success was, because that's what was presented. And
Right.
funny enough, none of those people look like me either. Um, but, you know, and as far as where I thought I was going to be, I saw myself as a doctor for a long time. And then also at the same time, a businesswoman. I saw myself walking in my heels, in my business suit, with my briefcase, and making deals and, just being a boss. And so that's what it looked like to me then.
That's funny because in some ways you have like come full circle in being a
Yeah.
businesswoman.
Yes. And
Maybe we're not
I
clacking
have.
along like Devil Wears Prada, but you
Yeah,
know,
well, I did that for a short while in DC. But the image, what I learned over time is just an image. The real work is what happens behind the scene that no one is watching.
right.
You know what I mean? When your hair is disheveled and, you've got your sweater on and you're just really getting down and getting the work done.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, walk me forward as life starts happening and unraveling for you in terms of, it sounds like you did some work in that in DC and then moved forward from that as well. What are some things that happened that may have changed your view on success, accomplishment, wins for you, life wins for you, and maybe an obstacle or two that really were pivotal in changing that for you, and maybe going from like, okay, this is really about money and about what society says is acceptable and really the pinnacle of what life is. And this is more about a personal choice and a personal decision. And I feel more successful. And it's okay. Like, I mean, I tell people all the time, like, I literally wrote the book, but I don't feel successful 9 days out of 10. But the 10th day, I'm a motherfucking rock star. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's about embracing it most of the time or some of the time and allowing yourself to feel it, but also being realistic about the fact that you're not going to feel it every day. But what is your truth in terms of where success is for you? But walk me through how you got there.
Well, I'll tell you this. As I was going through my travels in entrepreneurship, I've had several different businesses and I've had what looked like success. I had the really nice car, the penthouse, the nice clothes, jewelry, everything, the material things I've had. And I learned quickly that it didn't fulfill me in any way. Having the ability to have those things did not give me any satisfaction after I had it. So I learned that success was definitely wasn't the money.
Mhm.
And where I really found true fulfillment and satisfaction was when I accomplished something that was a challenge and was able to succeed in it, when I was able to help somebody and teach them the skill sets or the knowledge or the advice that I had learned myself and be able to transfer it over to someone else.
Yeah.
And then to see them grow. That is where I found that my true fulfillment comes in, even in my staff, working with them and trying to learn what makes them tick, trying to find the right roles for them where their skill sets really shine, where they feel true satisfaction in their positions and the work that they do. Um, Giving back and having the capability to be able to teach others, not for any monetary gain, but to be able to give and be able to position other people in a way that they can be successful for themselves. I think transferring knowledge, which is invaluable,
Right.
and being able to give that to someone that they can utilize and build up off of that is for me a success. Being able to provide for my children, giving them the things that they need and want, supporting their dreams and endeavors, and being able to have them take participation in the work that I do and the business that I run, giving them opportunities to take initiative and build for themselves and having them experience those challenges. That's success, being able to have the capability to do that for them and with them and the people around me. Just sharing, connecting
Uh,
people, seeing someone succeed or something great come of someone, something that I had introduced them to, or someone that I introduced them to. It may be selfish in some way, but it's fulfilling to me to know that I had something to do in someone else's success, even if it was just an introduction or just lending my time or my knowledge or thought. Um, it gives me that fulfillment.
yeah. I don't think it's selfish at all. I think it's like a joy. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like it's
it
like
is, and it's
Christmas
addicting
morning
sometimes.
when you give
Yeah,
somebody a gift and you're just like, oh, I can't wait till they open that gift because I just
yeah.
know they're gonna love it. And it's
It's
not
more,
selfish,
yeah, it
it's
feels
just
like
like a
you
joy.
get more joy out of it than they do
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. In developing that rich definition for yourself of success, what's something that you overcame? What's something that really was pivotal in getting you there from this? So you had like this early opinion and feeling towards success, and then you had some success that was society's definition of success, and then you've been able to mature into this more well-rounded, more community-focused version and vision of success. What happened in between that really was pivotal in helping you change that mindset?
I fell on my ass multiple times, literally. I lost it all, and I realized even when I had the things, the emptiness that I felt regardless of it. Um, you know, I went through some not so good, healthy relationships. I went through two abusive relationships, a divorce. I left with nothing both times. Um, and that meant leaving the money, the house, the car, everything. And it was more valuable to me to leave with myself and my sanity and my peace than to stay with all of those things. And then to be able to learn that I didn't need any of that to be able to succeed. And the most important thing that I was able to learn from myself was that had the, I've always had the ability, capability, and the tenacity to build from nothing. And to be able to do that and to walk away from everything and then to have to start from scratch. And then with three kids in tow,
Right.
I learned that I'm much stronger than I've given myself credit many times, and that I really can make something from nothing. And really, all I need is the things that I've learned, the lessons that I've learned in life, the skill sets that I've gained, the experience, the knowledge, and I really can do just about anything, really.
That's amazing. I think what an empowering message to allow yourself, because you can, not that you would be fearless like in every moment, but when it comes down to it and you really are feeling the pinch of the fear, you can say, listen, no, 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 no. We have been here before.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? Okay, we've already experienced the worst that can happen. We lived, we survived, we're thriving. It's okay. And even if it all goes down in a blaze of glory, so what? Like, it's almost a blessing
Mm-hmm.
that things happen that way for you, because now there's no anxiety around that happening, because you already
No, there's
know
no
the outcome.
fear for it. I don't and I'll ask myself, what's the worst that can happen? Okay, then what are you going to do about it? And I've already have a plan on what to do or how to respond in the worst case scenario. So once I've already addressed that, now it's just getting to work
Yeah.
and focusing on getting the things done, making my list of tasks to accomplish. What are the goals? Who do I need to speak to? What do I need to do? And really the hardest thing is not stop is stop like is not stopping, just pushing through even when you don't feel like it,
Mhm.
because you still have to battle whatever internal challenges, emotions that you're dealing with at the time, according to the challenges that's coming at you at that chapter in your life. But to have the wherewithal to stay focused and continue to push through as you're going through these challenges, and finding yourself on the other end and realizing, wow, I did all of that. I would manage to get all of this accomplished, and this chapter is finally closed, and I survived.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to wallow in your sorrow and feeling sorry for yourself, it's much better, and the outcome is much better, and you get through those depression times, the anxiety, when you just keep pushing through, get up and get to work, and know that you are capable, and really the only one that can stop you is yourself.
Right. And we do a
Mm-hmm.
lot. We do. It's
Yes.
just like it's funny, not in a ha-ha way, but in a ironic way, is like yesterday was like one of those days for me where it was just like pity party, um, and for no reason, but just like something inside of me felt like sometimes, well, if you're not an entrepreneur, you don't really know this, but for those who aren't, I'll share that it is a ride. Like you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. There's nothing guaranteed. There's no like you're going to get this paycheck every 2 weeks. It's
Mm-hmm.
you're going to get this fatty paycheck and then you're going to be dry for a while. Like, you know
Yes.
what I mean? And the goal is that you even it out a little bit and then it's fine. But it is an emotional ride and it requires a firm constitute, just being able to sit inside yourself and say, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to be okay. And
Mm-hmm.
that for me goes a little bit against, I'm more of a like nervous Nelly type person. And so for me, sometimes I can tend to slip into that like worst case scenario, difficult type thing where I'm just like, what's going to happen, this and that. And what's going to happen is what's going to happen. Like,
Yes.
whatever it is. And I think at this point in the early days of my business, I was like, I've really put myself all the way out there. What if things don't turn out the way that I want? I'm going to feel so stupid. I'm going to look stupid to everybody. I don't give a crap about that anymore. At this point, I know that I've made an impact. I know that I also have staff. I know I'm making an impact in their life. I know they're making an
Mm-hmm.
impact in my life. I'm helping women here. I'm helping the women that I pair with virtual assistants, and likewise. And so it doesn't matter. Like what really matters are, am I okay? But did you die though? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
get up, do the work.
Yeah.
Do the work. What do you have to learn from these feelings that you're feeling? What do you have to um, pull out of yourself and say, I can do this? Because it is the ultimate confidence builder and the ultimate confidence challenge, because you do constantly have to tell yourself on a daily basis, basically, shut up, you got this, get going, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then some days you're like, I am so killing this. Like, how did I not do this my whole life? Like, I was born for this,
Exactly.
and the goal is to have more of those days than the other days, but we don't talk about that very much, about how even when things are going really, really well, there's this emotional ride that we go on. And so that's why I was saying, I just admire so much, not that you went through that, but the outcome of that is that it reduces those days. You know what I mean? I'm sure you
Mm-hmm.
still have you're human, so you have those
Oh,
days where
absolutely.
you're like, am I doing the right thing here? Like, is this the right venture that I'm supposed to be in? Like, am I investing my time wisely? Do I need to readjust things? Like, how are things going? And, because just because we know that we're supposed to be an entrepreneur doesn't mean we know firmly that we're doing the right thing in this
Yeah.
season of our life. But, I think it's amazing. And I really, really love that that's the attitude that you've been able to come out of it, because many, many people would take a victim attitude and say, okay, well, I give up. Look, this happened to me twice. And,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was younger, all the people I saw on TV didn't look like me, which is a big problem. Underrepresentation, that's a whole nother topic for another day. Big, big problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have it modeled for me. I don't know like how to do this. And so I give up, that's it. And I just think that your story is one that's so important for people to walk away with. Don't give up. Like, there's something on the other side of this. And that's, ultimately what I did for myself was like a pump up list on Spotify of like all these
Mm-hmm.
different songs that were like, you got this, like, don't give up. And then I was like, all right, pumped up, I got this. Um, so anyways, I just really, really admire that. But talk to me about moving forward from here, from today. If you were to go 20 years from now and you were to look at the time period of today to then and look backwards, and you're saying not necessarily today, but the time in between, what would you have wanted to accomplish after today that would make you feel successful in 20 years? And that, could be 10 years from now, 15 years from now. What are the things that you would have wanted to accomplish along the way that would make 20 years later you feel really proud of what you've done in your life and feel very successful of the wins and the accomplishments that you've done with your life from here until then?
Oh, that's easy. Aside from, or in addition to employing people who enjoy what they do and are able to make a not just a living, but to be able to have the means to live and enjoy life, I would also take my riches and use that to build healthcare centers and homes and opportunities for other women to start their businesses in places where there are challenges, whether they're limited challenges, health issues, whatever the case is, but to be able to use my resources to position other people who may not have been blessed with what I have had, which is simply just a roof over my head and consistent food and water, and be able to provide those things for them, to be able to give them those basic needs, and
Mhm.
then lift them up to self actualization
I love
and be able to, apart from just making it and just getting by, but to actually live, really enjoy and experience and be present in life rather than just trying to survive.
Yeah, I love that. I know. For me, my husband is from Mexico, and so I and he doesn't come from Mexico is very disparate in the socioeconomic levels. And so you have like the super elite rich, and then you have the people who are, like you said, just surviving, or not even sometimes
Mm-hmm.
really surviving. And then even the same, the women that we help place as virtual assistants for our clients, I mean, the Philippines is a developing country, and so there's a reason why they want to work online, is because it provides them a better quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
And the options for corporate work are very challenging for somebody who wants to have a family, or who has a family, or who wants to be their own boss, or who doesn't want to be oppressed really in the workplace. And especially for women,
Mm-hmm.
it's very challenging. And what I think my clients sometimes don't understand, or I should say people who don't work with me don't understand, is these women that they're working with are entrepreneurs. They're
Mm-hmm.
freelance virtual assistants. They stepped away usually from a career. Like my executive assistant is a trained nurse, and she is a kick-ass executive assistant, but she has a bachelor's degree in nursing and practice nursing. Like, but
Mm-hmm.
she stepped away because the healthcare system did not meet her values. And this allowed her to make a living and have a better quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't do that just for me, unfortunately. She did that before we met each other. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I think that is such a beautiful goal to be able to, and not just a goal. I believe you're going to do that. And I
Oh,
believe
I
you are
do
doing
too.
that. Yeah,
Oh, I
I believe
will.
you are doing that
Absolutely.
now. Yeah, like um so I just think that's a beautiful thing to do in allowing and providing the opportunities for women to rise up for themselves and to accomplish these things in their own right. They just need someone to open the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then they are able to redefine success. And many women haven't even been allowed to dream of what that might look like. And
Yes.
and success sometimes means food in your stomach, and sometimes it means having transportation that's more than public transportation, because then
Mm-hmm.
you can get faster from point A to point B. um, and it can be very basic, but it can also be very complex. I want to use my brain. I want to educate myself more than I am right now.
Yes.
I want to do good in the world. I want to be at a point where my needs are taken care of, my family's needs are taken care of, and I want to do good in the world. And that's such a beautiful, again, the Christmas present, right? Like such a beautiful thing that you get to gift people, is this opportunity to define success for themselves. And I love that. I mean, that's obviously what I'm all about. And what this book is focused on is truly about allowing people to see through the lens of my story how things can happen and things can adjust in your life, but you can redefine it over and over and over and over again. And you should,
Exactly.
because your life will throw things at you, and your life will take turns. And so you should reevaluate and say, does this still ring as authentic for me? Okay, no, it doesn't. All right, let's readjust things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And just keep going and keep thinking about things. So good for you. I just love that, and I love your story, and I appreciate you sharing that with us today.
Thank
Um,
you.
before we close, there's a question that I always ask every guest, and
Mm-hmm.
that is, what is the best piece of advice you've ever been given, from whatever source that may be?
Well, the best piece of advice, what came from the book, The Four Agreements, for me. When I read the book, listened to it, and I think I probably listened to the audio maybe 20 times within a month's time. But the four agreements, and especially never take anything personal, and to um, be authentic, essentially. It's, uh, to be true to what you say, And really, when you look at that and you see that we are all going through the same journey in life, trying to get by and trying to figure out, and hurt people, and sometimes you're just lucky, and it doesn't mean that you're better, and it doesn't mean that someone is worse. It just means that we are all here trying to figure this life out, this world, this experience. And when you take your ego out of the equation and you put in the work and you see yourself in other people, even in those times when someone is hurting you, you can have empathy and sympathy and grace for others and equally for yourself. Because we've all made mistakes. We've all done things that we regret or should not have done. And, to play the victim and not acknowledge the things that we have not done, that we've done wrong when we've hurt others, it's a disservice to yourself. So
Right.
when you don't take anything personal, you understand and you can accept life, and you can then separate all of the fluff, whatever that may be it good or bad, and just get to work.
Yep. I love that. I love that. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for being with us here today. I really appreciate it. I mean, the whole point of this show is to really highlight other people's stories and perspectives on things. And I think that you've had such a unique perspective, and what you're doing with that experience is really beautiful. And so thank you for sharing that with us today, and for being with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, that is our episode today of the Successful as Fuck podcast show. And we thank you so much for joining us. We ask that you come back and join us next time. And keep in mind that the pre-order for the book is actually starting at the end of this month, the 31st. So we hope that you will participate and share. And we thank you for being with us, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.